Hey guys, so in this video let's finish the magic shield, and there is just a couple of effects I want to add. First one will be some light coming out of your stuff, and second one will be screen flash when they completely destroy the shield. And then we can just fix our block events and add sounds and set up different damage types, so it's all finished. So first thing, for the light, what we want to do is basically add point light to the top of the stuff so it illuminates everything. So for that we need to go to right mouse button event, and here where we start we want to go to switch where there is a stuff. At the moment it's quite messy, but after this shield we're pretty much done with main combat types, so we can pack it into nodes and clean it up. But for now we're just going to go down here on the stuff where we're spawning the magic shield, and after we will give ourselves some space, a little bit more. And then we want to spawn actor from class, and this one will be point light. Spawn transform, we will right click, split it so it doesn't give us error, just leave it like that. And then we're going to attach it to top of the stuff. So we need to get the combat component. There we have main hand reference, which is the stuff that we have equipped, and there we got weapon. Which one is it? Weapon end, because that is where we're casting projectiles from, so that is the top of the stuff, and we want to attach it. So from here we can also promote it to variable first, so let's call it magic light reference, and then we're going to attach this is actor to component. So attach actor to component will be this one. Socket name we don't need, we just need to change snap to target, and snap to target. That will attach it right to the middle of the weapon end, and then connect this back so it continues. So now we should have a light on the end of the staff. So if I pick this up, equip it, and then right click, there we go, I do have a light here. At the moment it's white in color, so we want to change the color depending on what type of shield we're casting. And also, as you can see, like half of my body is illuminated and stuff, just because there is like 4 points to my stuff and it's blocking the light and casting weird shadows. So we're also going to turn off the shadows, at least that's what I want to do, and then change the radius and stuff like that. So let's just adjust it. So again, we will need more space. And here from the magic light we're going to first set color. I think it's the first one, set light color from the light component. There is 2 components to the light, so I think they both work anyway, so just get one. And then for color, for now, since we're doing the fire damage, I'm going to change it to red. And then also, as I said, I want to turn off the shadows, so that's set cast shadows, connect it, and new value will be false. And then one more thing I want to do is change the radius, so set source radius. Okay, that is probably not from this light component, so get it from the magic light reference, and source radius. Not the soft one, but set source radius. And I'm not actually sure what it is by default. If you add a point light, you can play with the settings directly here, test it out, and then see what works. Originally source radius is 0, so I want to change it to probably like 100. Our shield is 120, but remember this is not in the middle of the shield, this is on top of the stuff. So set source radius will be 100, and then we connect it to here. Alright, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to change on the light, so compile and save. And now if we play the game, right click, there we go, I got the red light that will illuminate everything. Obviously it stays on me because we're not destroying it yet, but we will do that in a second. Now what I don't want to do is have light straight away like flashing at full intensity. What we want to do is when we start the shield, it will get brighter with like, we can do like 1 second or something like that, and then just basically make it brighter over that time, or 2 seconds. And when we cancel the shield, we will just destroy it. So for making it obviously brighter, we need to do a timeline. So let's somewhere here on the right, let's do new custom event. And this one will be magic light intensity. Sorry, I need to scroll in so you can see it probably better. So magic light intensity, and we will need to create timeline. So add timeline, and this one will be just, I don't know, light brightness, and we're going to play it, or play it from start actually, in case we're spamming the right mouse button, and then open it up. And here what we want to do is we want to change the length to only 2 seconds, add flow track, and we're going to right click anywhere and add key. Select that key and then change it to 0 and 0, press enter, and then right click, add another key, and this one will be value 1, but time will be 2, so it will go to the value 1 on the 2 seconds. Compile and save. This one, I don't like to leave it at new track, so I'll just name it intensity, because it will be light intensity. Go back to combat, and here we need to first actually save the variable that will be the original intensity, otherwise it's acting up. So we're going to, we need float variable, so let's add new one, and this one will be start light intensity. Change it to float, and then we're going to set it here to 1. So every time we start this event, we will reset it to 1. Then we need to get our magic light reference. We need to set intensity, which will be, I'm not sure which one it is again, probably light component, the first one. Before that, also let's right click and convert to validated get, because it might happen that we destroyed it and this will still run at least once before we cancel it, and it will give us error. So on update, if it's valid, we're going to set intensity, and new intensity we will lerp. This one will be alpha, so 2 seconds timeline, and it will go from start light intensity to end intensity, which will be, I'm not even sure what it is by default. Let's set it to 4000 and check. Light intensity is 5000. Okay, we probably don't need it that strong because we changed the radius and stuff. So we will start with 0 and then go brighter. And then we also need to do one more custom event, which will be end magic light intensity stop light intensity, magic light intensity, whatever. And this one will just go to stop. All right, now when we spawn this light, we change the color and all this stuff. Let's do it right here between these two. I know it's quite messy, but all we have to do is squeeze this magic light intensity. Magic light intensity is event, so that will start it. And then when we let go of the right mouse button, so that is down here on the stuff, we already got quite a lot of things here, so I'll move this one here, and then we need to get, first let's stop this event. So what did I call it? Stop light intensity. So we will stop light intensity. This one from not valid needs to go here. So stop light intensity, and then we want to get magic light reference, right click, convert to validated get, and if it's valid we will destroy actor and continue to this branch. If it's not valid, we still continue to this branch. Alright, now, so you can see it better, I'm going to turn the sun to the side. So you can do this by holding Ctrl and L on the keyboard. I'll just make it darker and then equip this stuff. Right click. Starts with quite high intensity, I think, even though it should be starting with 0. Is it getting brighter? Ah yeah, it is. You can see it on this ball that it illuminates slowly over the 2 seconds. It's getting stronger. So that's looking nice. There we go, we got cracking, and we got light. So I like it like this. You can even do higher intensity from, you know, to like 8000 or something, but then again, think about the performance. This is quite fine. So now we do have a light done. I think that is all that we have to do. Let me just think so we don't have any issues. If they break light, that's cancel right mouse button event, it will still destroy it and stop it. Yeah, that should be all. Okay, so now we do have a light. So let's add the screen flash. So for screen flash, we will create basically white background in the player HUD, because that is always open. So let's go to player HUD. And here we just want to add one image to the canvas panel. This one I will call screen flash. Screen flash. And then if you don't have animations here, you can just open it from the bottom. So wait, one more thing I forgot is let's resize it to the whole thing. So Control and Shift and click on the whole thing. And depends if you want to have it in front of everything else. Probably you do, because it's a screen flash. So leave it as it is, or Z order you can even do 1. And then what we're going to do is animate it. So go to animations, I'm going to dock it in layout, and then add animation. This one will be flash. Select it, and here we're going to add this screen flash. Right, now color and opacity is the one that we can key in. So let's change it to alpha 0 and key this variable, key this property. Then if you hold Control and scroll, we can go to 0.5. This needs to be very quick. So on 0.5, we're going to change this value to 1 and key it in. And then on this time we can close it a little bit slower, just a little bit. It's 0.1 second anyway. And then change this to 0 and key this value again. So this is what will happen. This can probably actually go longer, just a little bit longer. I'll move this point to 20. It's kind of like a flashbang. If you like, you can even do it almost over like half a second or something. You can still move this one, move this point like that. Yeah, I'll probably leave it like this. So it goes until 0.3 seconds. And then we need to activate it somehow. So in combat component, we can do event dispatcher. And this one will be flash screen. Not sure if it can be the same name as the other variable, so I'll do flash screen. And then we need to find when we break block. So that's this block break event in calculate magic block damage. And in the end, At the moment we do have it weirdly set up because we're doing sound for block break and everything else with the stuff. What we can do is we will switch here on combat type. We don't need this branch then. And then on weapon, no weapon, I'll move this sound to the back. And this one will be playing only on 100, 200, weapon, shield, dual wheel. This is block break sound when the block breaks, but I have a new sound for magic shield which we'll add in a second. And then shield burst we're not playing here, we're just going to set gameplay tag from here. And this one will be played only on the staff. And then we can delete these two things. Alright, so now that's pawn system at location, shield burst, set gameplay tag stand going from both. What else we need to change? Play combat montage, we can leave the same for both because it's quite nice. And then we'll just add the sound to the stuff. But for now, I wanted to do screen flash. So here on the stuff, we're going to call flash screen, not bind. Flash screen, call, and connect it. Alright, now we need to bind it. So in player, graph, on top. Since we do have a player reference here, which is not optimal, but since we already have it, we can just get combat component directly. Instead of just getting like actor and its components. And from combat component we can bind event to screen flash screen. We're going to create event, and here we're going to create matching event, and this one will be flash screen again. Flash screen, and then we just need to find the animation that we created, which is flash, and we're going to get it and play animation. There we go, and it will just play it. We don't need to stop it because it won't happen that you break shield twice in like 1 second or anything, so you can leave it as it is. So now when I play the game, you'll see it better on this dark background. So let's get these guys to chase me. There we go. There we go, there was a big flash as well, which I think looks really nice. So you can see it because it's exactly where the shield is exploding. So I think that looks awesome. And that was the second and last effect I wanted to do. So now we can just add sounds. If you want to have the same sounds that I do, then you just you can get them on my Patreon. Please, if you can support me as well. It helps me release the videos. If not, you can just get your own sounds. I'm just going to show you what I have. So it's these two magic something. So it's magic shield break. This one. And this is magic shield hit, which is a little bit slow, so I just need to make it faster. So in the combat component, we're still here in this block break. So this is when it completely breaks. So I'm going to copy this sound. Add it here, and this one will be magic shield break because that's when it breaks. And then if you go back to this calculate magic block damage, we do have this play block event. Open it up, and here still we're doing the sounds when it's weapon and shield. Block sound with the offhand. Okay, so what we need to do here also is we're going to do, before this, switch, because it's different effects we want to have, so we don't want to play the same ones. And here, still leave this one attached because this is depending if we have a shield equipped. So that is the sound that we'll be playing. We'll connect all of the weapons here. bow we don't really have a block event, so that's fine. But then stuff will go to spawn this emitter, because this is, oh no, sorry, not that one, that's a metal hit. We're only doing the crack, but that's set up in this block react events, not here. So from the stuff we just want to play sound and then go to block react, and sound will be shield hit. And here I'm going to change the multiplier to 1.3, so it's a little bit faster, and start time I will do 0.2, so it cuts off the first 0.2 seconds, because the sound that I have doesn't start immediately. So you can adjust your sounds and stuff like that. There we go. There you go, so that's Magic Shield. I think it looks really good in general. And now just for the different damage types, because I think everything else is working fine. At the moment we don't even have that sparks flying anymore or anything. So just for different damage types, I'm only going to show you how to do one. So instead of creating 5 different shields or however many damage types you have, we can change the material dynamically. So in this magic shield first, open it up. Here on the mesh renderer, we do have this explicit material, which we can't change because you don't have an option to actually add a variable, but we do have a user parameter which overrides it. So here in user parameters, we will click on the new one, make material interface. This one we can call shield material. Shield material, Control and A and C, and Control and C, because we want to copy the name. It needs to be exactly the same. And then here in the user parameter, you select it, or you can drag it on top of that. All right. And whatever you put in there in this user parameter will override this magic shield. So now we can go to combat component. Sorry, not combat component, player. And here we're respawning magic shield. From the return value, let's move it again. As I said, we will have to clean this, and then from return value we're going to set variable, and we're looking for material. So set now I got a variable material. Again, I don't have space for this, and material will be I will paste it, so shield material, and then object, what we need to do is select based on the damage type. So again, this will be all stats. We do have it set up in spawn magic projectile, I think. Spawn magic projectile, where we get the damage type that we have currently on the staff. So this finds the equipment info for main hunt and gets us the first base stat, which is the damage stat. So if you want, we can right click on this and collapse to macro, and this one will be get damage type. Oh, we already have it. Get damage type on weapon. How do we have get damage type? Get damage. Alright, it's an interface function. Okay, so get damage type on weapon, just a macro, which will do this and output us the stat. And we can call that stat damage type. And now we can reuse it. What happened? Ah, right, okay. So it's just this. So now we can get damage type on weapon. I didn't make it pure or anything, so we need to connect it somewhere. Okay, I mean, organize it yourself a little bit, because you can see that this is becoming a mess. So based on the damage type, we will select it, and then unfortunately it gives us all the stuff, all the stats here. So again, best thing would be just to pack it into another macro or a node. But for now, what we want to do is on the damage types, we want to select different materials. So for magic shield, we got this one main one. We already have this as a parameter. So all we have to do is go to materials, magic shield, and right click, create material instance. And this one will call always magic shield underscore, let's do cold one for cold damage. So as I said, I'm only doing one, so you will have to set up all of them yourself. So only thing you need to do is create material instance, and then we change the color, and color will be this one, right? And then since this should be magic shield base, magic shield underscore base material, even though it's fire, so we can use that. And then we go to player, and here you just select it. So for cold damage, we have magic shield cold, and for fire I can add the base one, magic shield base. Alright, and that will differentiate. So fill it up, otherwise you can get some errors if you have wrong damage types, because it won't have any materials. I'm not sure if it will give you error or just won't show anything. Or it will be default one, the fire one, because it won't override it in the Niagara system. So this is how we change the magic shield. And then for what else do we need to do? Shield crack, that we have down here. So magic shield crack NS. For that one, it's the same thing exactly. So we go here to user parameter and do material. Create new one, sorry, which will be material interface. This one will call shield crack or whatever, shield crack. Control N A, copy it and add it to mesh renderer down here on user parameter. And then we go to back to player, and we will set Niagara variable material shield crack. Again, we need to select, we need to get damage types. So get damage type on the weapon, and this one will be the selector. And again, for materials on a shield crack, we need to find it in the materials. I do have this, where is it? Magic shield crack material. I don't think we do have a parameter here, so open it up, and this one needs to be converted to parameter, which will be color. So that's the one we need to change. And then right click, create material instance, and this one will be shield crack underscore cold underscore mi. Open it up, and here we change the color to cold one. Very easy. And then obviously here for the cold damage you want to add it. So cold damage, it's shield crack cold. Fire damage, you can be default. Otherwise, don't use default. It's probably not the best one to use the regular materials. Just create material instance again for fire damage. I'm just doing it for tutorial because I don't want it to be too long. So shield crack material fire, and then fill up the rest. And then we just do have when shield explodes, and that is in the combat component on shield break. It's one of these events: play hit event, play event, block break. So here this one here, shield burst. So again we will move this. This one is a little bit different, so search for it, open it up, and here we're not setting it in sprite renderer because that's not material. We're doing it in the particle spawn. Yeah, particle spawn, you do have a color. So here we're going to add new user parameter, which will be linear color, I think. Yeah, linear color, and this one will be burst color. Again, I'm going to rename and copy it, and we're going to just drag it on this color. Yeah, burst color. And then save it, go back to player, sorry, go back to combat components, and then set material. Set Niagara variable, not material, sorry, set Niagara variable, and we're doing the linear color. Paste it here, burst color, and in value we need to make linear color. Whoop. Is there no way to it's RGBA. So this one is going to be a little bit difficult. Is there no other color in a magic shield, in a shield burst? Color. No. So unfortunately we need to set it up. There is a note somehow. Make color, make linear color. Am I being stupid? There should be a selector for a color, but I don't remember what the node is now. I don't want to search for it, so just probably find it yourself, but we also want to do select on this. So select based on the damage type. I think how do we get it? Give me 1 sec. Sorry, I had to check how do we actually get damage type in combat component. So in the player we do have this function which is get damage type, interface 1. So search for it and then double click on it, and what we need to do is just connect the macro that we created. So get damage type on weapon, and this will basically pass along the damage type that we have on the weapon, fire, cold, or anything. And then we can, in a combat component, to call that interface function, we will just get owner, which is the player, or we can even use it on enemy, and then get damage type message. And then here again we need to do select based on this. So select color. What should make slate color? This is still only giving me RGBA. I'm not sure why it is RGBA. You can connect it manually. So for cold damage, you can make color and then check it in the color picker and then paste the values. Or I think they should be maybe select color. They can be select color, pick A, and then you pick it directly. That will pick the first one, the one you selected. So pick A, and then we can do color. So this is cold damage. And what are we doing? The burst. So yeah, the cold like this. And then B value we don't need. And then you would just copy this. There must be a way to get it. I just don't know the node at the moment. So I'll just leave it as it is. Fire. And this one will be red. Okay, and you set up all of them like this, and this is pretty much it. So we changed it now, so red one should still work as it is. So fire at the moment I have on my damage, so fire damage. So the shield is still fire, and come on, burst me. There we go. So that's still fire, but if I change the staff damage type to cold, so blueprints, structs and DTs, and items DT, death whisper, and my main stat will be cold damage. Save it. I need to reload the stuff, otherwise it won't change. So change it to something, and death whisper. And now let's see if everything works. So cold damage now. Okay, the light I didn't change. But let's check everything else. There we go. That actually looks like it's freezing over. burst is burst in cold damage. Okay, so cool. Just one last thing is the change the light. So that's in the player. This one hopefully we're going to have a light color. Select color. Oh no. Ah yeah. See, this one it does have a selector. So we can just get damage types again. I don't have anywhere to squeeze it here at all. Move it somewhere and get damage type on the weapon. I'm just connecting it anywhere. I'll clean it up after, just so I can finish this tutorial. There we go. And then doesn't even fit here. Put it to this side. And cold damage will be cold light, fire damage will be fire light, and so on. So now when I play the game, I should have everything done for it. Cool, so that's Magic Shield done. Hope you like it, because I actually love it, it's awesome. Cool, the burst is nice, everything is good. Yeah, and that's how we create Magic Shield. So in the next video we can probably move on to the spells, but I also want to upgrade the engine to 5.6 and see if everything works correctly, so I might do a small video on that. And yeah, consider subscribing to my Patreon, guys, if you can, and support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!